like the guy or the girl who goes, "Hi, how was your day?" Like, like it's boring.
Swipe.
So you have to come out of the gate with something totally creative, something totally new. Now, for someone who's a little bit out of the box like myself, it's not hard as long as you put something on your profile that can give me something to go with.
Right.
Like if there's nothing on there whatsoever, what am I supposed to say? Hey, beautiful. Like other than that, like what am I supposed to say?
Many do.
But
what I love about Hinge is the video that you can do.
Welcome to Stop Whining About Real Estate. Join us as we chat, sip, banter, and wine with the best in the biz. Grab a glass of your favorite vino, sit back, relax, and let's wine together. Hello and welcome to our podcast, Stop Whining About Real Estate. I am your host, Sarah Biernbaum. Along with me is my co-host, CEO of Choice Mortgage Group, Emmanuel St, Germain, and our very special guest today, Carolina Rush. She is the Director of Memberships for Delray Beach Chamber and also a co-host of the podcast, Sweet and Spicy. Spicy and sweet?
Sweet and spicy.
Sweet and spicy. And she happens to be the spicy one. So welcome to the show. I'm happy to have you.
Me. It's awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
Glad to be here.
So let's start with the sweet and spicy right away.
Okay.
Love the name. All right. Who's sweet and who's spicy? You're spicy.
Right. So my co-host is Andrea Trout, who happens to be the owner of Prime IV in Delray. And her and I became very good friends through the chamber.
Is this blonde, Andrea?
Yeah.
Andrea and I know each other very well.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yes.
So that's my co-host.
How well?
And Bessie.
No, Andrea's married. So
no, she's not married. She's very single.
Since
Well,
when?
she has a boyfriend. She's never been married.
We're talking about the IV that drives around in the Range Rover Sport.
No.
Who's that? Oh, is that her
There
name,
might
Andrea?
be another one. There's a blonde Andrea Trout that's owner of Prime IV Hydration, but she's never been married. She drives a...
Maybe she told you
Maybe
she
I'm
was
thinking
married.
of a different Andrea.
Maybe. We
All
do
right,
pull
so
that once every while.
We do.
No, I could have sworn her name was Andrea. Anyways, all right. So cool. So Andrea Trout, I'll have to look up who it is, obviously.
Right.
And then I'll tell you if I know. But anyway, so that's sweet. You're spicy.
Correct.
Okay. Why do they call you spicy?
So this has been an ongoing thing since we started this. So the main reason, the way we came up with the name, which is probably the hardest part of doing a podcast, was I had called her up and said, let's do a podcast. And she's like, okay, great. I've been thinking about it. And 3 weeks later, we were in the studio. And we're like, okay, what do we call it? And so I think I came up with Sweet and Spicy. She's like the nice, sweet, blonde, fair-skinned, all-American girl next door. Mm-hmm. And I am the dark Latina. And Latinas are known to be spicy. Mm-hmm. And so it was kind of natural, just sweet and spicy. So that's how it came about.
So what are we, vanilla and vanilla?
Probably, yes.
Well, that's why we went with
I'm way spicier than you. Yeah.
No.
I can see that.
Yeah.
No. The door's closed. I'm way spicier than you are. So the stop whining with about real estate for us, right? Well, I liked it. I thought it was a great play on words. And the idea is we're supposed to be drinking wine. And I had this big grand vision. I'm like, oh, Opus One's going to sponsor the show. Today we are featuring the 1992 bottle.
Oh my gosh.
No, but like, it's I'm joking. But like the general concept, I thought, I'm like, all right, cool. Whining is a fun play on words. We did want to make it somewhat about real estate, like all facets of it, and try not to be boring. So we've tried to make ours very casual.
Right.
I try to make fun of Sarah whenever I can. And it keeps it light and keeps it fun. What's Sweet and Spicy about?
So Sweet and Spicy is mainly about dating and relationships, specifically in your 40s and 50s.
Sarah. The latter.
But we do throw other things in there. We have a skincare expert that comes on the show once a month. We've had people coming on talking about menopause. We've had guys on the show talking about their dating life. So we sprinkle, things in there. Health, a lot of health and wellness, gym, like personal trainers and things like that. So it's kind of like a lifestyle.
And the take on it is different because she's not single. Right? And you are single. So you're more the dating scene.
Not married, but that's
I mean, she's been dating somebody for a few months.
Oh, okay. So
they don't live together.
so
Right, but she's never been married, no kids.
Okay.
I've been married twice, 2 kids.
Okay, so you guys have a different perspective on it.
Exactly. Yeah, we're almost like day and night, which is kind of
good.
cool. Yeah.
And then, so the podcast primarily is just the two of you. Occasionally you have guests, but it's the two of you kind of just girl talking.
Correct.
I love that.
And sharing we're very raw, and I'm very honest, and we get very personal.
See, we need to remove you, get me a chick, and I can do this.
I'll fill in anytime.
I love him.
What is this all about?
He's gonna hate me. By the
Ratings
time
are
this
going to
is
go
over.
way down.
Because I think people sometimes enjoy like a back and forth banter with two people that they become comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think there's something to be said about that. I think that, like, if you and I were to get on the show and banter all the time, people would probably fall in love with me, and they would love our dynamic.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's boring. I don't want to talk about just banter with you all day long. Like, I got stuff to do. You know what I mean? But that's where our personalities are different. I don't mean that. I mean it like you enjoy the banter thing. I'm thinking, all right, what are we doing? How are we going to double the size of this company? I need to do this. I need to do that. How can I add value over here? Like, we're just different.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I think makes for a great podcast.
Yes.
And you're different.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so your podcast, so tell me, like, what would you ask Sarah if she was on the podcast?
Oh, boy.
Gosh, it would depend on what topic we were discussing at the time, but we talk a lot about online dating.
That's an Emmanuel question.
Oh,
He's
is
a
it?
pro.
Dang, I'll take that one.
He's a pro. He's been doing it for years.
So you'd be,
take
Andrea
it
would be on
easy,
your side.
Sarah.
I'm very much against it.
Me too.
I actually started it. I restarted it just mainly. I did get backlash on this on social media because I said, oh, I went on there mainly to get content for the podcast.
Oh, that is
which
bad.
it has given me.
But see, that's bad.
Oh,
That's-
people go
like,
on there
what
just
if
to
you
get
match
laid. It's
with
the
me?
same thing.
No, so
Yes. If you
I'm
go on there
open to the
simply
relationship.
first of all, so Sarah, you have no clue. You have no experience in this matter.
I have
You're
24 hours of online dating.
You're simply shouting out profanities here. So at the end of the day, there are lots of different apps. So you have to, just like everything else, just like in the mortgage world, there are lots of different products. And they're not all built the same. They're not all equal, but everything has a pro, everything has a con.
Yeah.
So I'm only on one app, so take it easy.
Hinge.
And, yes. See? And that app,
See, I did.
OnlyFans.
No.
Yeah. That's why she didn't like it. She was like, bing, bing, bing.
That would be great. Business is booming then.
But-
no, I was on Bumble for 24 hours.
Yeah, that one's for younger people.
So whereas you lasted 24 hours and you're not on it anymore?
So the story goes. So I don't know that I gave it a fair chance. I had a handful of drinks with my girlfriends. I am recently separated, going through the whole process of getting unmarried, and we had a handful of drinks. And I got home and I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna try it. I'm just gonna get on this stupid app because everybody keeps telling me, you gotta get on the app, gotta go on dates. So I put some pictures, filled out some stuff, put my phone down, and I went to sleep. And I woke up the next morning and I had an extreme amount of notifications. And I didn't know how to work the app. So I get on and I FaceTime one of my friends and I was like, what am I supposed to do on this one? Because I got married back in 2012 and I, was dating for 3 years before then to the same person. So it had been a while since I had been in the world of singleton. And she's like, we got to do this. You got to swipe. And I was like, and then as I was doing it, all of these notifications started popping up and these DMs and these super likes. And I was like, even if the man of my dreams is in the batch of people that I need to sift through, I'm never going to find him. It's like opening a job resume or opening a job post and you get, 1,000 resumes and you could have the best candidate in there. But if he's number 600.
Right. It's so overwhelming.
So I was like, I don't think this is for me. But I found it very comical because there were certain people in there that were very honest. Like there was this one guy that was like, I'm only in town Monday through Thursday. I'm looking for somebody to go to dinner on Tuesday nights and spend Wednesday morning with me. That was his thing. And I wrote back and I was like, I love your honesty. I hope you find what you're looking for. And he's like, do you want to have dinner on Tuesday? And I was like, absolutely not. But there is somebody out there that will fit this this, this profile match situation, which is why you went on for content is not that bad. He was looking for a Wednesday morning breakfast delight. So, I think.
So I had started, I did Tinder way back in the day, and I actually ended up meeting my ex that I was with for 4 years. And so it does work, but because of the way that it ended, it's very time consuming. You go down that rabbit hole and you're up till 3 o'clock in the morning swiping. It's awful. But I went back on it on the Facebook one.
Okay.
Like 4 months ago. And I met somebody
What's
that
Facebook?
I connect.
Facebook dating?
Right.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of
Because
it?
it seems safer.
I've heard of it, but I've never been on it.
Connects you with mutual people.
Okay.
And so they're not a serial killer. Well, I'm not sure if that's true or not. But so I met somebody, and a friend of mine can run phone numbers. So after we had been talking for weeks, great connection, blah, 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 I told her, can you run the phone number? And he's got like 38 criminal things against him, like assault on a police officer, all kinds of stuff. And I was like, this is crazy. So I was like, I'm done. So then I started.
To be fair, though,
Oh, boy.
you could have easily met him at a bar,
Correct.
said hello, he might have been charming, and you would have never known those either.
Correct. Although I still would have gotten his number and I would have had her run it. But I then started on Hinge, and the first guy I met, great connection, awesome. We're going to meet. Call her up. Can you run the number? 8 criminal.
Jesus.
And one of them was domestic violence. She's like, why do they like flock to you? I'm like, so then the third one, again, great connection. She runs it again. This one has solicitation of prostitution.
That's no big deal. Come on.
Now, I will
say
saying?
that's the least of all of them.
That is the
Prostitution
least
should
of all
be
of them, because
legalized.
if
Maybe he didn't know.
We legalize marijuana, might as well legalize that.
Like a Hugh Grant's type situation.
Right.
No, but so all right. I hear you. I will also say from the reverse, the piece that you don't get to see is there's so much, like, it's so hard. It's really, you know what it is? We could equate this to kind of like almost like a social media video, like TikTok or something like that, where you've got 5 seconds to capture someone's attention, and if you don't, they're moving right on. So, like the guy or the girl who goes, "Hi, how was your day?" Like, like it's
Next,
boring.
swipe.
So you have to come out of the gate with something totally creative, something totally new. Now, for someone who's a little bit out of the box like myself, it's not hard as long as you put something on your profile that can give me something to go with.
Right.
Like if there's nothing on there whatsoever, what am I supposed to say? Hey, beautiful. Like other than that, like what am I supposed to say?
Many
It's
do.
just,
But what I love about Hinge is the video that you can do.
Wait, do you have a
you done
video
one?
on Hinge?
no, it's
That
love video.
for me.
what do you want me to do? Pickleball, like smashing?
You can hear their voice.
You could say hello to them, to your audience, to your future.
I don't have any problems on Hinge. I appreciate the tips. It's not the here's what I did though. So I had canceled it for a while, solid 3-4 months. And what I found, so first of all, it's a little more boring during the week because you're not using it as a time filler on the couch when you're like, meh, meh.
Right.
But what you end up doing is that when I did go out to dinner, I was much more like a lion. Like you gotta be on you're looking more to meet someone. You have to be more open to meet someone because it's not so easy as going home and saying, oh, she's in Miami, I'll never go see her, but sure, let me like this one. Right. And so you end up, and I think for me, where it's cute, it's fun, where it gets really hard to meet someone of real significance is really going to be the fact that I don't have that much time. I work a lot. And really, I find the only way it's not easy to start with somebody who is on an app that has the ability to go on a date every night of the week.
Right.
That's my
Because
point. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go on a date with somebody that's going on 5 other dates that week.
I probably need a
And maybe I'm
professional
old-fashioned in that,
matchmaker
but that's
that
just-
says,
No, I was gonna say
"Here's
1000% say
here's
that."
why you want to marry this guy."
Yeah.
And then now it's set up totally differently.
Yeah, you
So I was
need
going to
to
mention that we
need
had
a
a professional matchmaker who's a member of the chamber, and we had her on the show.
Okay.
We actually did the Potapalooza. It was a live event, and she was our guest as well. And she does online takeovers.
What's that
So-
mean? Oh, she takes over your app?
She completely. She is like you.
So weird.
And she answers. She creates the profile. She's the one talking to them.
I would do that.
But see,
And,
that's not a
yeah.
matchmaker, though.
Yes, it is.
No, that's an imposter.
No, no, because you tell her everything that you
I'm
want.
talking to
She's-
someone that and thinking I'm talking to
Well, hold on.
this
Let's
girl and
finish.
she's
Tell
the
me
other
the
girl.
process because we don't know what we're talking about.
So I'm not exactly
know
sure
either.
how she does it, but she does respond. But she gets it is her responding, but she's getting it basically from you. She's just rewording it the way it should be worded.
Well, that's like when Sarah writes all her emails, they start with ChatGPT.
I do the same thing. It's fine.
It's
It's my
okay.
best friend.
No,
It's my assistant.
it's not a big deal. Some of us learned English the hard way, but not a big deal.
I actually
Do you speak
should name.
Spanish?
I do.
So I need to learn Spanish. I
Yeah,
speak
you
French,
do.
but I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
It's fun. Were you born in Venezuela?
No, I was born in Louisiana,
Ooh.
Lafayette, Louisiana.
Speak any Cajun?
No,
Okay.
no. But I moved here
Creole.
when I was 5,
That's Cajun.
and my family's from Venezuela. My parents were born there.
Gotcha. So we were just talking about an ex of mine who is from Venezuela.
Did you meet her on Bumble?
Not Bumble.
Hinge?
Hinge. Yes. Yeah, that was an interesting one. Dating influencers is really not my thing.
Oh, so
Oh,
she
but it
was an
was.
influencer.
Well, because I like the looks. I like the
Oh,
look
yes.
of it. Like we look really good in pictures together, but outside of that, like, oof, it's a lot to deal with.
So have you had any luck?
Define
Great
luck.
question.
I mean, you have to define what luck means.
Anybody that you would consider pursuing into a relationship? Or that
mean,
you've gone on more than 2 or 3 dates with?
Yeah, of course, it's happened. I mean, I've been single for a while. So for me, I like the thing that's different for me is that I'm not scared to be alone. I have an amazing life. I love my life. If you're amazing and you want to be part of my life and we're better together, like I love that. But I'm so concentrated on what I'm doing in my career that I'm not the hopeless romantic 25-year-old that I once was, where I can stop and do whatever I want.
Right.
I have no different than Sarah would be, knowing that she has 2 children, that she can't just get up and move to Paris tomorrow, right? So the same concept. We can have thoughts, but our lives, so to get to your point about dating in your 40s to 50s, our lives have taken on a certain
They're established.
certain level of responsibility that, like I can't move to Miami. I can move in, we can buy a house together, we can do lots of different things. You don't have to come to my house, I get it. But like, I'm not as flexible in many aspects of my life because of this career. Now, at the same token, there's a lot of great things that come with it.
Right.
So, everyone has to, and I feel like that's where it's this tough balance. Do you want, so, at my age, I'm 46, I'd like to have kids. That kind of limits me in terms of what age ranges I'm looking at. The Sarahs of the world are probably a little too old, So now,
I had a feeling that was coming.
I'm just kidding. But you get what I'm
great.
saying. And so
Shop's
like,
closed.
but everyone's different and everyone has, and I think that the hard part with the online dating piece is that you get to a point where you can't really say that in an app.
Right.
And I'm not going to say that just meeting someone. You come across like a total douchebag.
That's why you need the matchmaker.
Right. So that she can brag for me so I don't have to.
She can brag as you, but do it in a way that's not braggadocious
It's a
and
joke.
also
It's
get
a
to the
line
bottom
from
line.
Dumb and Dumber. You know that line?
Yes.
He goes, he's like, "Oh, good, perfect. Tell her all about me." So I don't have to. Like, I love it. I think that line's so funny. That's one of my favorite PG-13 movies.
Is it?
Dumb and Dumber, come on.
So Ace
when
Ventura
Jeff Daniels
was mine.
throws the snowball at her face from 2 feet away,
Launches it at her.
launches it at her. The whole movie's great.
Yeah.
So I think that where you're at in life really determines the kind of experience you have on online dating. Because for somebody like myself, who's a single mom with 2 kids, I'm not going to just go out with anybody. You have to wow
You're running
me.
the numbers.
Right. And I'm going to vet until you pass all the tests. But I have friends that haven't been married or that are, 12 years younger that'll go out with
It's just
any guy that
it's a
says,
fun date
hey,
night.
you want to go out?
Yep.
Not
Right.
me.
Yep. I'm the same way.
I get it. I'm a man. It's,
And I don't know if it's
easier.
because of the kid thing or there's just a different level of, a different experience there. But I would rather eat dinner out of, peanut butter and jelly sandwich on my couch
Right.
with Netflix than spend my time going to do something that doesn't
Right.
make sense for me to go do.
And if you're going to
try
have
being
me
me.
take,
I have to do the exact same thing, but on top of it, I have to pay for it.
Yeah. But I think it's different.
I do find, so you know what's funny? A really big cultural thing down here is like men pay for everything, like even friends, which that part was weird for me because like I'm from New England. New England, the women are very independent, right? And so like in a relationship, of course, I wouldn't think of not paying or any of that stuff. I never realized down here, like even the girls, like the hot chicks, like the guys, we pay for everything. If there's 8 of us and it's 5 girls and 3 guys, the 3 guys pay for everything. Like it's just a unique, if you're a hot chick in South Florida, you have it all. Really do. Like how difficult is it?
Yeah, but so I grew up down here, and I understand what you're talking about because we have a lot of the same friends, and I've been in
Which means that
situations.
which
It's
means
not me.
you get
No,
you
it's
get
not
to
me.
ride the coattails.
It's not me, but I have also said to our girlfriends when they are like, well, no, the guys will just pay for it. I'm like, we're not sleeping with these guys. Why are they paying for us? We're equally friends with them, so we should be also throwing in our cards, so it should be 8 ways. And some of the girls that we mutually know have this mentality, well, we're the girls, they should be paying for it. I was like, well, they're not courting us. They're not sleeping with us. We're the wing. We're all in this together. It's a different kind of setup. So I always usually have offered. And then if you end up paying for something, I always make sure that I, send you a text that says, thank you so much or whatever. But I don't think that's the expectation with everybody. I think it's certain people.
Maybe it's just the people I know.
I'm with Sarah on that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I don't think every woman would expect that. No.
I think the older you get, the less it happens. But yes, I think that for our group, it's because it happened along the way so much that now it's strained. But all right, so we got the podcast, Sweet and Spicy. How long have we known Sweet?
3 years.
Oh, so it's a new friendship.
Yeah.
How'd you meet?
Through the chamber.
Got it.
Delray.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now talk about your actual role with the chamber is to do.
So, I do a lot of things at the chamber, but the main thing,
Notes, Sarah. I'm trying to set her up to answer that.
the main thing is membership director. So I bring in new members, I do sponsorships, I manage the leads groups, I help with the events, ambassadors, the list goes on and on and on. And I've been there for about 5 years.
Do you like it?
I love it. I was previously with the Boca Chamber for many years prior to that. And then I left the industry. And then my dad called me one day because he was on the board of the Delray Chamber. And the Delray Chamber was not doing well. Like they were on the verge of closing its doors. And he called me and he said, they need a membership director and I put your name in the hat. And I was like, what are you doing? I have a job. What? How am I going to do that? And he was like, oh, come on, just help them out. Just go talk to Stephanie. Right. So, and he talked me up to them because I had a very successful career with the Boca Chamber. And so I met with Stephanie, the CEO, and I said, I'll help you for 90 days until you find somebody. I'm not looking to get back into the chamber world and going to all these events and nights and weekends and this and that and the other. So here I am 5 years later. That didn't work out exactly the way I thought, but I love it. It's great.
Right.
And they're both great chambers.
I was going to say, can you
It's a lot smaller,
without saying anything that you are comfortable saying? What are some of the differences? I guess.
I think the biggest difference is Boca. There is a political component to the Boca Chamber. Delray tries not to get involved in that at all.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But also the Boca Chamber is made up of a lot of larger companies, and Delray is nothing but small business. So it's more of a community.
It's more intimate.
Right. And of course, it's half the size.
Yeah. Boca's big.
I feel like
Right.
that's why I live in Delray. I like Delray so much better than Boca. Like, I get why you live in Boca. If you're going to go to, I don't know if you live
Kids
in Boca.
are
I
cool.
live in Boca, yeah.
But for kids, and especially if kids are in public school, no brainer. Boca is the way to go. From the
day.
reason I like Delray better is all the little, like every time, like, so first, like every recruiting person we bring in, they're like, oh, where should we put them? I'm like, no, not Boca. They're going to be bored. They're not going to know where to go. Like, send them to Delray. We put them in a hotel, walking distance downtown. If there's an event on the weekend, there's an art fair. The Savor the Ave, I think, is the coolest concept. Like, they
All
just
the concerts they have.
I don't go to many of those, but just in general. No, but
Maybe you'll find a
There's
date
always
there.
something going on. There's always something.
there is.
Well, it's
There's
also really centralized too. Like
Yes.
Boca does have a sort of downtown, but it's not the same as Delray, and it's not the
Meisner,
same feeling as
basically.
Meisner. Boca serves its purpose it's got a lot of really big golf communities, a lot of really big houses, a lot of really expensive shit, and it's got
the
great schools.
resort,
Yes.
you've got this. Like, it has,
Yes.
it's just very
Whereas Delray is
individualized.
a little bit more
community.
everything
Community.
is more center, everything is more community. And I think from somebody who grew up in South Florida, you can tell Delray was kind of a sleepy beach town that became more of a visitor's hotspot, that became more of a locals affluent, but still, moving and grooving and a part of things, community.
Right.
And it's not as, it's not cookie cutter, but it has people from all different places that are all just there to kind of live and experience the South Florida lifestyle together, I think.
And not to mention that the people are so welcoming. I mean, it's
100%.
It's so
Boca's
different
not the same
and
way.
I grew up in Boca, so I mean, they're different people.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also
A
think
lot of
that
Sarahs out there, right?
I also think I grew up in Hollywood. I mean, it's so different. I also think that in Delray, so don't make her come out. You probably
There's the spicy.
you probably have a lot more people that live in Delray year round.
Yes.
And I think Boca, you have a lot of transient people, which changes the scope of things because, there's people here that are here for strictly season, and there's people that, it's like when you have the beach towns in New Jersey, like there's people that live there year round.
Right.
They are different, the ones that are always, have people there. So
I think alcohol plays a big piece in it. I think Delray is a community that more people.
you're not even drinking.
We're not talking about my personal stuff.
Okay,
I'm
go
talking
ahead. I'm
about
sorry.
I can observe things. I can't have a baby, but I can talk about what having a baby is, right? So the alcohol piece, good analogy, right? No, but my point is that alcohol is a big play in Delray, and we have a lot of restaurants, we have a lot of bars, we have a lot of happy hours.
Everything's walking too.
Everything's walking, everything's close. Like, you just don't see that much. Like, Boca is boring to go out. Like,
We get it.
no, it is. Like, Boca has great restaurants. Now, where are we going to? Nowhere.
It's like back in the day when I was, my very early 20s, him or she in that whole Las Olas area in Fort Lauderdale was where you went. And I lived on Sailboat Bend, so everything was walkable. You get past the museum and it's, everything is there. And then you get to Las Olas and then you get to the beach. And it's very it's bigger than Delray, but still it was very walkable and everybody was kind of, just doing the thing. Boca.
You know what I just realized tonight is?
What?
It's Wednesday night.
And?
Where's your favorite place to go on Wednesday night to get picked up?
I know, so I didn't say that I went to go get picked up there.
I need to hear about this place.
It's
Meat market.
Meat market. I mean, it's a scene. I don't go to get picked up. I don't go to get picked up. I went with girlfriends.
Back-to-back weeks.
For a couple times. No, I was going for almost every week. And then I brought one of my gay best friends who's a man, and he had never seen anything like it. And he lives in Fort Lauderdale. And we got seats at the bar early, and he was like, this is the most amazing social experiment I've ever seen. And I was like, no, this is wild. And as the night progresses, it gets more and more packed. There's a DJ that comes out. You see every color Ferrari and Lamborghini possible pull up into their valet. And it's like, it is, if you want to go home with somebody on Wednesday night, go to Meat Market, and if you fail,
it's ironic that is what they call that place.
Well, it's not. It's.
But here's the thing: if you've been to the meat market in Palm
steakhouse.
Beach,
Right.
it's so different. Palm Beach Meat Market is so different than the
Really?
Boca one,
Well, they had a ladies' night on Thursday up there.
but it still doesn't look the same as the Boca one.
Got it.
No.
So
not
when Meat
close.
Market first opened, not too long after, a bunch of us went out for a birthday dinner at Farmer's Table,
Okay.
which is right next door. So we said, "Oh, let's go to Meat Market." I heard
You
it's
know
great. Joey from.
one of the owners.
No, I know
The
Phil.
culinary guy. Okay.
Okay, no. So we went to Meat Market, walked up to the bar. We all looked around, and we're like, absolutely not. This is not our place. And I had ordered a drink. They had not ordered a drink yet, and I canceled it, and I said, we're not.
What night
Forget
did you
about
go?
Thursday night.
So it's definitely listen. It's where Boca goes to be seen, plain and simple. And like nobody can even argue that point with me. It is. The women are dressed to the nines, and they're all sizing up the other women that walk in.
Correct.
The men are there to pluck somebody off to date them, sleep with them. Doesn't even matter. Ship them off to their house, whatever. And it is a scene. You're not really there to have like this elaborate steak dinner. The meat market in Palm Beach. It's the local Palm Beach community that's there because it's their steakhouse sports bar, and there's guys sitting at the bar that are in their business suits that are eating dinner by themselves and they're watching a game, and there's families having dinner. It's a totally different scene. Boca, people are there because they want pictures, they want Instagram, they want to be seen.
I've been to Meat Market, but I've never been on.
I have a feeling you would like it.
Why?
If you like influencers and
No,
that look.
I'm not saying I like influencers. My problem is the look that I'm attracted to doesn't match with the head and the heart.
Right. If it's the look you're going for, then
His
Meat
brain
Market
and
is
his
the
brain
place.
don't speak to each other.
I'm a male. That's how it works.
No, but
Sarah.
yours are so polar opposite. It's not even. They don't even live in the same universe. Like mentally and emotionally, Emmanuel wants somebody that's like, mature and smart and has, very
Growth-oriented.
mature emotions and is well spoken and well educated and well traveled and knows stuff and has experience and has lived life a little bit and can really offer something. Could be a great mom, nurturing. And then what he goes for, none of those things match.
Well, you just don't know until you try.
Right. So he's trying all of them.
And you never know if what you've been looking for is right in front of you the whole time. You never know. With Sarah.
Talk about this one. No.
I mean, she just described herself pretty much.
No, she didn't.
Wait, did you agree?
What? I didn't agree.
He agrees. He just won't admit it to you, I'm sure.
I disagree. She's an employee
Here's what I
and
think.
a friend.
Here's what I think you should do for Meat Market. But I also think, knowing you, the crowd's slightly older than the crowd that you normally go for.
How old are the women?
My age. And older.
Oh, no. Wrong playground for daddy.
What is your age?
Well, he still
range?
wants kids, so he wants them to be like 32.
32 is on the low side.
35.
No, in general, like what do I normally date and stuff like that?
30.
I mean, if you want kids, 35 is even
Pushing it.
pushing
She
it.
better have some eggs frozen.
Right.
Eggs on ice.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. Think it's that tough nowadays? I don't know.
How are you with blind dates? Are you open to blind dates?
I am, but the only thing I would tell you is that I'm, like pretty picky. So
If you sent a picture to me, I could tell you if it was going to be a yes.
My mom too. My mom's really good at this.
Okay.
But in general, but outside of that, yeah, and like
He needs physically a smoke show. Like, you look at her picture and you're like, that's not real.
Right. Like that's AI kind of thing?
Yes, that's what he needs.
well, that's what I like. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
keep an
beyond
eye
that,
out.
they need to have.
You'll probably only find
I don't
one on
know.
the
I
internet.
think these days it's like one or the other. Take your pick. Either you get the brains or you get the beauty. Sometimes, I don't know, it's hard to get all of that in one.
I don't disagree. It is tough, and that's where the apps make it easy because you can go out with whoever you want.
Right.
You can have a conversation. She seems cool. She doesn't. And you do. You end up, I think in general, from the only downside is the business that we're in, we don't necessarily get to meet as many individuals that are highly educated that would have. What's so funny, Sarah? No, but just meaning that, a lot of
clientele.
I was going to say your clients are going to listen to this.
well, no, I'm not talking about my clients.
No, not the
I'm not going to
clients.
date a client.
No, I understand that. Not our clients, but our world of business.
A lot of we're dealing with realtors. We're dealing with title reps. We're dealing with there's nothing wrong with it. They're great professions. Just like I'm sure most loan officers are morons too. No, my people, it's not intelligence, education. Those are things that you choose to have. Either you have an ability to do it or you don't. But the point is that there's something that you can do something about. Growth is very important for me. I need somebody who wants to constantly grow, wants to get better.
They want more likes and more influencer followers.
More than that, right?
Right.
More than just
A guy that we interviewed on the show who's I think he was 58, maybe 60. He had told us that he had tried several apps and the smoke shows that I think were wanting to settle down. I don't know the age range, but they were mainly on sugardaddy.com.
Do you think they really want to settle down or they just want to have their bills paid? Those are two different things.
It's the same thing.
Is it though?
They are settling into a life that everything is taken care of.
No,
for
it's a
them.
contract. Okay, so here's what happened.
But
You're gonna
you
sleep
both
with me.
win. You're
What's a
getting the
it's no
smoke
different
show.
than, that prenup was. You guys have been married. I haven't, but apparently in prenups you can define all sorts of stuff, including sex, all sorts of things,
Yes.
what's expected in the relationship, and if you don't provide this and do that, then you are out of
the prenup
out of the
legalities.
contract. And yes, it's insane.
We had 2 pennies to rub together when we got married. There was 0 prenup.
I just find it weird. I had we were at Abe and Louie's one day for a business luncheon. And this woman, so somebody comes in, I don't remember who the person was, somebody that I know comes in, says hello, and they knew me from Del Rey or Boca, whoever. And I'm literally having a business luncheon with someone. And this older woman knew the person that came and said hello. And she's like, oh my God, I can't stand it. What am I going to do with him? I think she threatened to kill him. It was all about he's not abiding to the agreement. I'm like,
Welcome
what?
to Boca.
I'm like, what are we
Right?
talking about? And this was not a young woman. This is she was 70, he was 90 or whatever it was. It was something I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about here. I don't know either of you. She's like, he's dangerous and he makes me do this. And I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, first of all, I'm not your counselor. If you feel unsafe, you need to call the police. Not me.
I'm just Emmanuel.
I'm just a dumb mortgage guy.
I'm a finance guy.
You just got to back it up on that one. You're like, yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to be able to help you on this one. But it was crazy. The relationships are crazy. Do you think we're meant to be together in terms of do you think people are meant to be together forever? Do you think that's really how science
No.
built us?
I think it depends on what era you're talking about.
And I don't think there's
That's
just
two different
one
things.
person.
Science has nothing to do with error. Error has to do with
Surrounding
the
an environment. And I think our environment that we currently live in does not lend itself to that.
because there's too many people and there's too much access to people.
Well, and I also think there's, from a very basic level, I think, there was a certain time in life where women didn't work and they didn't make their own money and they didn't really have access to do anything on their own. And where were they going?
That's still prevalent in some cultures.
Agreed. But in our culture,
get it.
especially down here, I think women, have more freedom and ability to manage stuff on their own. And you go to the point where you're like, I can take care of all this stuff by myself. Why am I dealing with?
See, I think I'm going to say that I'm going to go as far as this is a number. I'm going to say 75% of married people, if they could backtrack, would back out. I think 25% of married couples are truly
I think that's high.
happily married and would make the same choice over again.
I think 25% is high, especially in this geographical area.
You think it's even lower than that? They
Yes.
would back out and say, don't do this again.
Yes.
Okay, so I get why you stay together. So again,
No, I say less are happy than the 25%.
right, I get it.
I
So-
agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so 10%? 12 and a half, 20? Well, I mean,
Go
15.
10.
50, all right,
15.
so 15%. So 85% of people,
Yep.
okay,
Are unhappy and
are
50%
unhappy
do
in
something
marriages.
about it.
So the
60%.
funny part is that I'm the one who gets judged for never being married, not having kids. Meanwhile, my life is fucking great. I have a fantastic life. I can do what I want, whenever I want. I can afford anything I want because I don't have to pay child support and alimony and all sorts of different things. And I'm happy, but we're judged by the people who are unhappy. Why?
Well, 'cause it's a
Misery
society norm.
loves company.
It's
That's
funny
why-
that you say that because a lot of us, I don't know how you are, but a lot of us, if we meet somebody online that's 45, 50, never married, no kids.
I'm a red flag.
The first question is,
Yeah.
what's wrong with him?
Yes. That's the other way
It's a
around.
total red flag.
And you know what's funny? I'm going to respond from now on. I'm that much smarter than everybody else you know.
So my thing is this, and I think it's because I know you and I've known you for a long time and I know you personally.
And it's not that I wouldn't get married, by the way, but
Because I know you, I don't
just have to ask
find it to
nicely.
be such a red flag. I think I don't find it to be a red flag because I'm familiar with you and like who you are and your kind of your story. So to me, it kind of demystifies the what's wrong with you or what happened, because in my brain and my eyes and my vision, like there's nothing wrong with you and nothing happened. Like
There
it
isn't.
just, your life took a turn. You were very involved in your career. You did a bunch of stuff and like, it's nothing that you never wanted. It just didn't happen. So it's not a red flag for me, but I can understand why it's a red flag for most people. I just have a personal connection to somebody that isn't.
Right.
but I think it's different.
But without it, I probably would.
But I think it's different. Say, why is it a red flag? Like it's a red flag because society has taught you that you should have done this, you should have done that by this age. Okay, like fair enough. If that's what you think life is about, like I tend to be happier because I don't follow society's rules. Now I'm not that. Like, trust me, the way I said that, I don't follow society's rules. I'm not like some rule breaker, rebel. I'm not that crazy. I'm not that out of the box. Like, my life is very normal. I have very normal wants and goals, but there's certain aspects of it that I don't care.
The only part that changes is biologically we have rules that we have to kind of live within.
And that's why
You're a dude and we're chicks.
it's easier to be a dude.
But on the
we
flip
know.
side, I have been judged for being divorced twice. And the first thing that they think is, "Oh, you crazy? What did you do?" And I just don't know how to pick them. That's the problem. There's nothing wrong with me. So it can go either way.
So it's both. I agree with you. I agree with the fact that my brain goes, all right, she's failed. So because here's what we say, right?
You're
We
going to say it's a failure.
Fail. My buddy Sean, when he got divorced, I remember this is like my first friend getting divorced. This is, I don't know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, however long ago. It was a long time ago. And I remember he said, like, I remember crying on my shoulder. He's like, E, I've never failed at anything before, and I feel like I've failed at my marriage. I think she left him. And so, like, in my head, like, I've always associated.
That's why you never got married. You were afraid of failing.
No, I'm not afraid of failing at all. You can't be an entrepreneur afraid to fail.
I'm joking. Continue.
So I'm not afraid to fail. There are boundaries to my effort levels emotionally because it also has to coincide with what the rest of my life is doing. And that's what I meant. Like, I flew to Paris to meet a girl a long time ago. You can't do that crap anymore. Like,
He'll fly them in.
There's
He'll fly there.
Like, there's different. I mean, I was a hopeless romantic in many ways, but that's not feasible anymore. I've got stuff to do.
Right.
You know, there's a dog at home.
You need a matchmaker.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Well, I got one for you whenever you're ready.
If not, there's always meat market on Wednesday nights. Bam, bam, bam.
I want to take you there just because I would love to see you in that world.
Let's all go.
Let's all go.
Do you know I used to do really well with cougars when I was in my late 20s? The 40-year-olds loved me back then.
We're not cougars.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not a cougar.
If I was 28, you'd be a cougar.
I thought I was still just in the MILF land.
Who said anything about MILF? I just said cougar.
But wait, what's the before one?
What do you mean? There is no before.
What if I was in my 30s? Am I still a cougar?
No, you haven't been in your 30s for so long. I can't even think
I'm
like
42,
that.
you asshole.
It feels like so long ago. Like, I just don't even remember it.
Are you just always a cougar for the older woman?
I don't know. I don't know what it's called. I just assume it's called a cougar. So a cougar to me is an older, attractive woman. So it's all takes place that if I'm 46, a cougar would be a 55-year-old woman who's attractive. If I'm 28, she could be 35. There's not like an age bracket.
So I thought the cougar was the older women that like and pursue younger men. And the MILF is the woman that the men pursue.
But what if she's not a mom?
True. Mm-hmm.
I think it's both. The cougar. So, like, you could be a cougar and preying on the younger male, and then but like, I didn't have a problem. Like, hey, listen, if you're like when I was 28, a 40-year-old that's hot, listen, sexually, they know what they want, right? It's a very different experience than someone who's insecure with their body. A 40-year-old woman is not insecure anymore. Well, they're insecure, but
no, we're
not for that.
No, we're not. We're good
for the most part. You get what I'm saying? Whereas when you're dating someone that's in their 20s, they're still...
like, turn the light off.
Yeah.
So if you meet somebody that has children...
Yeah. It's not a deal breaker for me. I don't care.
It's not a deal breaker for you.
Do you want them to have more children?
Kirk that you met took me in. He's not my biological father.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No. He'd be better looking if he was. I'm just kidding.
I think you guys actually kind of look alike.
Everyone thinks we do, and he's 18 years older than I am. So like we're like built the same. It's really weird. But yes. No, he's not my biological dad. So he and my mom met when I was like 8 or 9. And then, so for me, because of that, I'd be a huge hypocrite to not take someone else's kids in. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But would you want them to have one of your biological children?
Perfect this
world,
is going to sound a little arrogant, but genetically speaking, yes, I would. I'd like to have a child that has. That's
not arrogant. You want to have you want to have one of your. You'd love them as your own, but you'd want to have one of your own.
That's very understandable.
I think that's totally fair. Mm-hmm. I think that's fair.
Worst case scenario, I'll just have somebody have a child for me with my genes.
Surrogate.
Yeah, whatever it's called.
That's what it's called.
Surrogate, a nanny at the house. Get it done. It's the modern day, right?
You got to be home though sometimes.
The nanny will be home a lot.
And I think for women, I don't know how you feel about this part, Sarah, but for me, one of the big things is I prefer to meet a man that has kids of his own. Because the men that don't have kids...
They don't get it.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
They really don't get it.
I can understand that. It's both. It's we have a friend of ours, and they were talking about, again, not something I'm used to having to deal with, but he has a child, And he's talking about, well, what's the schedule? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, you got to know the schedule, because if the schedules are off, like, it's never going to work. Call it off now. He's like, just give up. Don't even try. Like, if you don't have matching schedules, I'm like, can't you just flip it around? Like, oh, no, that's the biggest deal in the world. So, like, it was really funny to hear we all come from different places because of it, and we all have different perspectives about what's important and what's not. And, for me, I'm like, all right, my schedule's easy. It's called weekends. Monday to Friday, like, yes, I can see you once or twice a week, but, like, until we're living together, like, I don't, that's what I got.
I also think, though, that, like, even if you were married and had an ex, but you don't have kids, like, for me, no matter what, my kid's father is always going to be a part of our lives. And I think somebody that may not have kids doesn't understand that piece, or how, like, important it is for that person to still be a part of things. And
Wait, you think that I can't comprehend the father of some woman's children wanting to be part of their life because I don't have kids?
you might be different, but I think that there's a good amount of people that if they don't have kids, and when they have an ex-wife, ex-whatever, it disappears. Like, that person goes away. It's a transaction when you break up or when you get divorced. They no longer have to be a part of your life.
No.
When you have kids, that person is a part of your life.
I get it. I'm just
kids.
shocked that people are that dumb. I typically will tell a woman that there's really, like, I literally have an ex right now who called, and, like, she is going through some crazy stuff. And I literally said,
she's really, really hot.
She was, but I'm like, I'm not interested in the drama. It's all the drama. So for me, it's really simple. I'm not saying I won't make an effort if it's in the middle, but really the perfect world is he's completely gone. I'll step in. I'll take care of it. I'll adopt. I'll be the dad, right? Or he's a great dad. He's involved. We can shake hands, be cordial, understand we both want the best for the kids. They're his kids. Like,
that would be that's the magic piece.
Right.
To have both.
Yes.
Yes and no, because there's still, like, it's what I think it might be the magic piece for the mom, but for the bonus dad is really never more than a bonus dad. And then we get into, listen, men are competitive, like, who's doing this for Johnny and who's doing that for Bobby and Susie and whatever. And what if we're in different financial positions? Like, all right, I'm paying for this kid's college, but I don't have a say in anything. Like, there's some dilemmas here on how it works. Or what if it's the roles are reversed? Like, what if that guy's a gazillionaire and they want to go on a private jet and I can't afford that stuff, right? Now, am I supposed to feel small because I'm not comparison? Like, it's
there's a lot of dynamics. You're right.
There's a lot of dynamics depending on what side you're coming from. And all of it is part of this wonderful, crazy South Florida dating world we have. All right, parting shots.
I need a shot.
We do need one of those, but I need to get to dinner.
Do you have a date?
I have a date with my godson.
Oh.
Taking him to dinner. Look at that. You thought it was going to be something fun.
Well, I would love to have you on the show along with the matchmaker at the same time.
Yes.
Is this a female or a male matchmaker?
Female.
Okay.
I think that would be super interesting.
I just want to go sit in the audience.
Yeah, you could both come on.
I'll be the only audience.
She could give you tips too. We'll have both of you on there with her.
Well, there's no real tips. It's just being honest. You just kind of do your thing.
She can tell you all the things you're doing wrong. She'll analyze your profile.
Oh, I love this. Let's do this immediately.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
I don't know if I want to be critiqued like that. I'm going to have to go home. I don't even know what's on there.
She's super nice about it, so.
I might need to sharpen up my...
She'll deliver it so she'll think you think it's your idea.
Right.
No, that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is the
Your
I don't even know what it
methodology?
says. I do got to go in there.
She's really nice.
Oh, boy.
What if you have one session with her and she finds you the woman of your dreams? Who wants to marry you?
Yeah, it's great.
I bet she knows where to look to find what you're looking for.
All right, let's do it.
SugarDaddy.com.
All right,
I'm excited
on that
for this.
note, we've given enough SugarDaddy.com advice.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for being
Thanks
on
for
the
having
show
me.
and
I'm excited
It's been
for
fun.
the show swap.
Yeah.
the show swap.
Yeah.
We'll have to pick a date.
I'll go. I'll be the
Absolutely.
guinea pig. I don't care.
You're not even on online dating. I almost said
I'll get on
internet
online dating for this.
Yeah, and maybe she'll do the online takeover for you.
Perfect.
You never know.
No.
What's the worst that could happen?
You need to get out of your AOL account and get something a little more updated.
I have Gmail.
Just kidding. All right. Well, pleasure to have you. Look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing you again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, that's enough whining for one day. We are so happy that you could join us today on Stop Whining About Real Estate. So please, not only listen, but subscribe, follow us, download, share, and if you're feeling it, give us a 5-star review. Hey, and if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email stopwhining@choicemortgage.com. Thanks so much.